שריין, מיד נכנסים.
יפה מאוד.
Satellite imagery confirms that U.S. bunker-busting GBU-57AB bombs struck the Fordo uranium enrichment facility in Iran, following an airstrike ordered by President Donald Trump. The images, published by defense analyst Brady Afric on the social media platform X, show at least 6 impact craters at the Fordo site. It remains unclear whether the underground infrastructure, located 80 to 90 meters deep in solid rock, was directly affected. This was a clear, coordinated, and effective strike, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth stated. He emphasized that the action was not aimed at Iran's military or civilian population, nor intended to provoke regime change, but to reduce potential threats to the United States and its allies. The operation, codenamed Midnight Hammer, marked the first combat use of the GBU-57A/B massive ordnance penetrator, a 13,600-kilogram bomb designed to strike hardened underground targets. According to Hegseth, 3 sites linked to Iran's nuclear program were targeted in the strike. Satellite comparisons suggest the Fordo facility sustained significant damage. The strike involved a complex decoy operation. A group of B-2 stealth bombers flew toward the U.S. base at Diego Garcia, with transponders active to draw attention. The actual strike group flew a separate route in complete radio silence, supported by in-air refueling and escort aircraft. Before entering Iranian airspace, U.S. forces launched Tomahawk missiles at Iranian air defense infrastructure. Decoys were also used to confuse radar systems. Hegseth said no Iranian air defense systems detected or attempted to intercept the bombers. The strike began at 2:10 a.m. Iranian time, with 2 GBU-57AB bombs. Throughout the operation, 14 MOPs and around 75 precision-guided munitions were used. The final strikes took place between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m., followed by another wave of Tomahawks. A preliminary U.S. assessment concluded that the operation caused significant damage or complete destruction of all 3 designated targets. And now all eyes are on Iran's response after United States strikes nuclear sites. Iran's ambassador to Pakistan said Tehran will decide how to respond to U.S. aggression based on the evolving conditions of war. He described Israel's reliance on the U.S. as a sign of its weakness in the face of Iran's missile and defense capabilities. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian says the United States must receive a response to attacks on nuclear sites in the Islamic Republic during a phone call with French President Emmanuel Macron. The Americans must receive a response to their aggression, Pezeshkian told the French leader. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi calls the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear sites unforgivable, says Iran has to respond based on our legitimate right to self-defense. Iranian authorities say 9 security personnel have been killed after Israeli forces struck 2 military sites in the central province of Yazd. Tehran has not issued a clear line regarding a warning or threat, nor has it outlined the next steps. This is because the decision-maker will be the Supreme National Security Council, and it's clear that making a decision is a very complicated process. On one hand, Iran wants to retaliate, and on the other, it seeks to maintain a certain distance from the U.S. We must remember that Israel and Iran are both regional powers, while the U.S. is a superpower with nuclear facilities and nuclear bombs. Iran is trying to impose a kind of deterrence, a balance of pain for pain, by daily launches, and we are seeing the Iranian rockets hitting bases in different Israeli cities. The Iranian president spoke about how the Israelis dragged the U.S. into this war, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps warned that all the U.S. bases are under observation, but neither gave a clear line on what the next step will be. That is up to Iran's Supreme National Security Council, which will need to convene to make a decision. The Israeli military said Sunday its Air Force successfully struck multiple Iranian fighter jets at Dezful Air Base in western Iran, including 2 F-5 and 3 F-14 Tomcats, aircraft that date back to Iran's pre-1979 arsenal. The strikes come amid heightened regional tensions and continued Israeli efforts to neutralize threats before they materialize. In a statement, The Israel Defense Forces said its fighter aircraft targeted 2 Iranian F-5 jets while they were on the ground at Dezful. The IDF released black and white footage showing one of the jets being destroyed. The forces destroyed one of the aircraft at the airport, the IDF said. The aging F-5 jets are part of Iran's legacy air fleet, originally acquired during the rule of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi and still in use despite decades of sanctions and limited parts availability. IDF spokesman Brigadier General Efi Defrin said Israeli aircraft also destroyed 3 Iranian F-14 Tomcats. The F-14S, which were originally supplied to Iran by the United States before the 1979 Islamic Revolution, remain among the rarest operational fighter jets in the world. U.S. forces retired the type in 2006, and Iran is believed to be the only country still flying them. Their continued use relies heavily on reverse engineering and cannibalization of spare parts from grounded aircraft. Last week, Israeli strikes in Tehran reportedly destroyed 2 more Iranian F-14 Tomcats, further reducing the inventory of operational Tomcats in the Islamic Republic. In addition to targeting aircraft, the IDF said it destroyed 8 missile launchers during the operation, including 6 that were loaded and ready to fire toward Israeli territory. The Israeli Air Force has maintained an active tempo of operations against Iranian assets across the region, often targeting weapons shipments, air bases, and missile platforms. The IDF emphasized that the strikes were aimed at degrading Iran's military capabilities and preventing future attacks on Israeli soil. Iran releases video of Mossad agent interrogation. Iran has arrested dozens of people on suspicion of spying as fears grow in the Islamic Republic over the extent of its infiltration by Israel's Mossad intelligence service. Since Israeli strikes began Friday, 28 people in the capital have been arrested and accused of spying for Israel, while on Monday, one man arrested on that charge 2 years ago was hanged in what appeared to be a message to any would-be collaborator. The Iranian regime has also arrested scores of people across the country for allegedly sharing articles online in support of the Zionist regime, accusing them of disrupting the psychological security of society, including 60 people in Isfahan, where Israel claims to have targeted a nuclear site. Footage of Israeli Air Force downing Iranian drones. The Israeli Air Force has proven highly effective against Iranian drones, showcasing a multi-layered defense system that combines speed, precision, and advanced technology. Using F-35 and F-16 jets, Israel can quickly intercept and neutralize incoming drones long before they reach critical targets. These aircraft are backed by sophisticated radar and command systems that detect drone launches in real time, allowing for rapid response. In recent attacks, Israeli pilots have successfully taken down dozens of drones over open terrain and coastal zones, often before they enter Israeli airspace. This aerial defense is supported by ground-based systems like Iron Dome and David Sling. But the Air Force remains the most flexible and mobile element in combating long-range drone threats. By targeting not only the drones in flight but also launch sites and logistical hubs deep inside Syria, Iraq, or even Iran, the Israeli Air Force disrupts drone operations at their source. Its success has kept vital infrastructure and civilian areas safe and maintained Israel's strategic air superiority in the region.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.